Okay guys, so today we're going to start off with an easy warm-up first of just distributing. So we're going to do a couple of problems together, and then you're going to do the rest on your own. So let's start with number 1. We're going to distribute 4x to the 1x. You can go ahead and put that 1 there, which will give us 4 times 1 is 4, and there are 1, 2 x's, so x to the power of 2. We're also going to distribute that 4x to the negative 3. 4 times 3 is negative 12. So it looks like x. So it looks like our answer is going to be A. All right, let's go ahead and do number 3. We have 1/2 times 12. 1/2 times 12 is 6. And we have 1, 2, 3 x's. So x to the power of 3, or x cubed. And we have 1/2 times negative 10. Negative 10 times 1/2 is negative 5. So our answer, negative 5x. There we go. So it looks like our answer is going to be E for that one. Go ahead and do the other 3 on your own. Okay, so I want you guys to go ahead and flip your paper over to the back where it says cross puzzles. This is what y'all are going to be doing today. We kind of got a little idea about this before spring break, and we're going to get the real idea today. So just as a reminder, we have the top of our puzzle, the product. So 2 numbers that multiply to this number, and at the bottom of our X or our cross, we have 2 numbers that are going to add, make a sum. All right, let's go ahead and just start off with 12 on top and 13 at bottom. So we are looking for factors of 12. So we have, these are pretty much just pairs, 2 numbers that multiply to 12. We always start with 1. 1 times 12 gives me 12. What about 2? Well, 2 times 6 gives me 12. Let's go to 3. 3 times 4 gives me 12. And if we go to 4, well, that just gives us back to 3, and we already have that, so we're going to go ahead and stop there. Now, these are our pairs. We have 3 pairs happening. Which pair is going to somehow get me to 13? Well, that would be 1 and 12. 1 plus 12 gives me 13, and 1 times 12 gives me 12. All right, let's go ahead and do another one on this top row. We're going to do the 66 on top and 17 on bottom. So remember, we are trying to make a factor list of 66. So we have 1 times 66 gives me 66. 2 times 33 gives me 66. And let's see if 3 goes into 66. This is a pretty big number, so if you need to go to Desmos, just do 66 divided by 3, and it's 22. So 3 times 22 gives me 66. Let's try 4. I'm just going to go back to Desmos, delete that 3, and make it a 4. Well, that gives me a decimal, so we're not going to use 4. Let's jump to 5. That gives me another decimal, so we're not going to use 5. Let's jump to 6. All right, 11. So I'm going to erase that 4, and we're going to do 6 times 11. Let's try 7. 6, nope, decimal. What about 8? Nope, decimal. 9, decimal. 10, decimal. And we're back to 11 at 6. Once you have that repeating number, so we were at 11 and 6, that's when you know to stop. Now from here, we need 2 numbers that can somehow combine or add to get us 17. It looks like the pair I'm going to use is 6 and 11, because 6 plus 11 gives me 17, and 6 times positive 11 gives me 66. Okay, let's look at the problem right underneath that. We have negative 21 on top and a positive 4 on bottom. So we need to make a factor list of things that multiply to 21. Remember, always start with 1 times 21 will give me 21. Let's move on to 2. Well, that's going to give me a decimal. I already know because it doesn't end in a 2. Let's try 3. 3 times what is going to give me 21? So let's do 21 divided by 3. 7. 3 times 7 gives me 21. Okay, let's go from there. Instead of that, let's try a 4. Nope, decimal. 5, decimal. 6, decimal. And we're back to that 7 and 3. So because I had the repeating pair of 7 and 3, I know we're going to stop right there. And we're going to use these numbers to figure out what can somehow combine to get me a positive 4. Well, I'm going to try my luck with the 3 and the 7. 3 plus 7 is going to give me 10. So that's not going to work. What if I have negative 7 and a positive 3, or positive 3 plus negative 7? Well, that gives me a negative 4, and we need a positive 4. So let's try negative 3 plus 7. Negative 3 plus 7 gives me a positive 7, and a negative 3 times positive 7 gives me that negative 21. Okay, y'all, so go ahead and look at this problem where we have negative 132 on top and negative 1 on bottom. We are going to make a factor list of 132. Don't worry about the negative. We'll deal with that later. So we have 1, we start with 1, times 132. That gives us 132. 2 times something is going to give us 132. That's a pretty big number, so I'm going to go ahead and use my calculator, and I'm going to do 132 divided by 2. So 66. 2 times 66 will get us to 132. Let's see if 3 works. We're just going to change that 2 and make it a 3. So 3 times 44. So I'm going to put 44 right here. Gives us 132. Let's try 4. Just going to delete that 3, make it a 4. It looks like 4 times 33 is 132. 5 gives us a decimal, so we're not going to write that down. 6 times 22 gives us 132. Let's see if 7's going to work. Nope, that's a really ugly decimal. 8, no. 9, nope. 10, definitely not. And 11. Oh, 11. 132 divided by 11 is 12, which means that 11 times 12 gives us 132. Now, if we multiplied, 12 times 11, those are repeating numbers. So we know that we're going to stop our list right there. I'm going to kind of break our pairs up to where we see them better. Okay, now from these pairs, I need to somehow get to a negative 1. I'm going to try the 11 and the 12. Positive 11 plus 12 gives me 23. I don't want 23. I want a negative 1. Okay, well, let's try negative 11 plus 12. That gives me a positive 1. I don't want a positive 1. I want a negative 1. So let's try something else. How about we just flip those signs? So if we have a positive 11 minus 12, that will get us a negative 1. Let's check the top. Positive 11 times negative 12 gives us that negative 132. So our answer here was positive 11 and negative 12. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and work out the problem underneath that, which is 45 on top and negative 14 on the bottom. So we're going to start with a factor list of things that multiply to 45. Per usual, we start off with 1 times 45 gives us 45. Well, 2 is not going to work. That's going to give me a decimal. So let's just go to 3 and let's try it out. We have 45 divided by 3 is 15. So 3 times 15 is 45. Let's see if 4 will work. We have 45 divided by 4. That's a decimal, so no. What about 5? Okay, 45 divided by 5 is 9. So that means 5 times 9 is going to give us 45. Let's change that 5 to a 6. Decimal, no. 7, nope. 8, nope. And 9 is going to get us back to that 5. So our numbers have repeated, which means that we know to stop our factor list. We're going to work with these 3 pairs that we got. So I somehow need to get to a negative 14. Which pair can somehow get me to a negative 14? I'm going to try my luck with the 5 and the 9. Well, if we have a positive 5 plus a positive 9, that gives me positive 14. And I don't want positive 14. I want a negative 14. So instead of positives, what if we tried making these numbers negative? What is negative 5 plus negative 9? Negative 5 plus negative 9 is negative 14. So that checks out. Now, does negative 5 times negative 9 give us a positive 45? It sure does, because a negative times a negative is a positive. So your answer here would be negative 5 and negative 9.